In this presentation, I'll be discussing different ways in how students can be fully prepared for their new journey at university. So hi there, my name is Katrina and I am a student associate at the University of Bedfordshire. I'm also a second year student doing sport and physical education as well. So make sure you're organised. So in my opinion, I would buy some stationery, which is needed for your specific course. So with my course, it revolves around sport and education. So I knew that stationery such as notebooks, paper, folders, and etc. would be very beneficial. So when you arrive at university and attend the Freshers' Fair and events, you'll be able to pick up enough free pens, USB sticks, and notepads to last you a lifetime at university. Also, having various notes tidied and organised is especially helpful when exam season comes along, as you can find those crucial notes from a few months ago from your lectures. So personally, I believe that having a personal electronic device with you at university is really important, especially as a lot of lectures involve looking at material such as journal articles and book chapters that the lecturer may have posted online. So having a laptop or a tablet can help you with notes or looking at the presentation when you're in the lecture or seminar easier. I would recommend to organise a daily routine, especially for when you need to study. It can help you be motivated and keep you on track as well. Maybe have times of the day when you're going to have a lunch break or when you're going to have dinner so that you know when you're going to study for those specific times of the day. Always have some sort of time to yourself at university, as your uni degree can also take up a lot of your time. With your timetable, so find out what your timetable is for your lectures and seminars. Most courses do have lectures which are only on a specific number of weeks. So you might have a lecture that is every other week or every 2 weeks. So it's very important to know your timetable really well. For advanced reading for your course content, before applying for the course, I would look on course units and being myself, I would have researched on the university's website as well. I looked at percentages such as a graduate employability and the opinions of current and past students. I would make sure that the university had a great track record as well. I would also look up the units of the course and see if there are any books or resources I could get access to. For example, I would use my local library at home and I would do some reading during summer before going to university. I decided to email my courses coordinator and the lecturers to make a good first impression of myself. And I basically just introduced myself and what I studied at sixth form and what my interests involved. So when I did this, I wanted to create a relationship with them so that when I wanted to ask them any questions on something I had read about but needed to know more about, they would respond to my email and give me the support I needed. I could find every lecturer's email on the university's website as well. If I couldn't find it, I would email the university and ask them as well. Also, every university will have their own student support service, which I've needed to use before in regard to when I first needed to register as a student. With the registering process, to me, it was quite confusing because I wasn't up to date on what day I needed to go and etc. So if you do need to know more information, the student services will help you. So when you use I personally, before I went to university, I would use social media to get chatting with my new course mates, because obviously I don't know them, so it would be nice to get to know them before going to university. I was going away to university and being surrounded by complete strangers is no doubt a completely new and scary sounding experience. But when I first started uni, I was quite shy and I wasn't too confident in meeting new people. The first flat I was placed in was sharing with another female and 3 males. And we were all very similar in age and we had something in common, either being sport, food or hobbies. So I was very lucky, as I still speak to them even now, though we don't live together anymore. But we do see each other around campus as well. I would always suggest to say hello when you first meet and just sit down and talk about your life and a few fun facts about yourself so you can connect a bit more, because obviously you'll be living with each other for almost a year. So when you find a way of socializing with people before you go to university, it will help to calm your nerves and can definitely get you off to a good start. But even if you don't do that, you'll meet them in real life either way. So many universities and accommodations have Facebook pages open for the new students to find who they'll be living with, giving you an easier chance to learn more about these people. If you do find that some people from your flat, it's a good idea to start a group message with them so you can get to know each other. Whether you've got interests or you're thinking of going to a particular freshers fair, bonding over any topic at all can give you all something to talk about when you see each other, and will calm any nerves you may have about not knowing anyone. So that group chat will allow you to discuss things you'll be bringing to university. You can also ask if they've got a kettle, if they've got a toaster, so ensuring that you don't all bring the same things with you. Otherwise, you may have a flat that has over 20 pots and pans that aren't needed. So as well as making sure you aren't missing any key objects. So this could be, for example, if you all didn't bring any cutlery, then make sure that someone did bring some. So through online on the university's website, you can discover the details of your upcoming freshers events, and you can research the freshers packages you could buy in advance. Therefore, this could be something you look forward to in your first week at university, and you can bond together. So when you pack for when you move into university, I would recommend to create a little checklist, and you can add to this with any new ideas you have, and then tick off the items that you do purchase. So if you're struggling ideas for items, you can always look online for inspiration, and there's lots of lists and fundamental advice for what you could take to university for when you move in. So for sure, in your list, you'll need to cover all of the basic and essential items. So this can include food, toiletries, bedding, your personal electronic device. So this could be a laptop, a tablet, cooking utensils, cleaning products, medicine, kitchen equipment, photos and posters for your room if you'd like that as well. So with food, there's almost likely to be a supermarket within close range of your halls or campus. But from my experience, it would be worth stocking up on the essentials before making the drive to university. With toiletries wise, as well as the usual wash bag items like toothbrush and toothpaste, it's important to remember things such as soap, shampoo, and toilet roll, as you don't want to be caught short, especially if your weekly shop is maybe next weekend, for example. So with bedding, unfortunately, your room in halls won't be like a hotel. So you'll need to remember to take all the things you need for a comfy night's sleep with you. So with your personal electronic device, although there will be plenty of computers you can use in the library, a laptop or tablet is pretty important for your work, as well as keep in touch with your friends and family at home. With cooking utensils, you're probably going to need a few items to cook with. From personal experience, I've cooked before going to university, but when I went to the supermarket with my mum, she was able to point out what items I would need for when I cook for myself. So I would strongly recommend buying a recipe book as well, as they come in handy when you want to cook a quick meal for yourself. With clean products, so depending on your university or accommodation, they will occasionally employ cleaners to take care of the communal areas of your flat, such as the kitchen, hallways, but you'll almost certainly be expected to keep your room clean as well. With medicine, from personal experience, I must admit that having an emergency medicine or a first aid box is a good idea, especially in the first month or so of university, because freshers' flu is always around. With kitchen stuff, so obviously you don't want to arrive at your flat with a microwave and find that everyone else has bought one too, so you may have 5 microwaves in your room. So if you can find your future flatmates on Facebook or in an app before going to university, it is a good idea to get in touch with them before, so you can organise what to do in the start of Freshers Week. But alternatively, you can wait until you arrive and then make a group trip to the supermarket to take care of shared items. So with the posters and photos, it's all about the personal touches in your room. When I first moved into my room, it was just plain. It was really basic and boring, basically. So it is worth covering the walls maybe with a few posters so you can liven it up a bit. And I personally bought photos of my family because in the first week I did get a bit homesick, but that's just an opinion. But honestly, I would try not to worry. So if the worst comes to worst and you've realised you've forgotten something crucial, you can always go to the shops and buy it when you get there. So what every student should do when they start university. So for most people, going to university will involve moving to somewhere new, and it's far from the familiar comforts of your home. So the first thing you should do when you get there is take the time to explore your new area. So I personally would explore my new surroundings and see what types of facilities the university has to offer. So it's worth working out where useful places like the nearest big supermarket is, shopping centre, and the doctors are. You could also join a club or society. So every university, there's a huge range of clubs and societies. There is your chance, this is your chance to join one and make new friends and socialize with people with very similar interests. But obviously, if you don't want to join anything, then there's no obligation to, but I would just recommend it, as I know I would just recommend it. So who knows, you might discover your true passion. For example, I joined tennis and I've never played tennis in my life, but I socialize with the people there because there's people there who are beginners just like me. So not everyone will be it just depends on if you go to a sports society, there'll be different people with different ranges in how good they are in, etc. But if you join a society, and for example at my uni there's a Disney society because everyone likes Disney, so that's a society there as well. So also every student should try and find out about their career opportunities. So you may have only been at university for a week, but it's never too early to start thinking about your life after graduation. I've always been asked this question, what would you like to do after graduation? And I've asked people that I know at uni, and a lot of the time some people say, I'm not quite sure yet, but the university will help you to find that career pathway. That's why student services is such a good, it's just good for moral support as well, if you need to ask a question. So in terms of life after graduation, you could start scoping out potential internships, maybe similar positions like volunteering, work experience, and the volunteering will boost your CV for your future prospects, especially as employers will look at it and see that you've been at university as well as doing opportunities like the volunteering and work experience. So any of these will enhance your learning experience, and it will provide you with great insight into the chosen field of study. This is also a great way to meet people and create useful contacts around the university. So when you do start university, you will be allocated a tutor. So this is another way to ensure that you don't feel lost. So I would recommend to get to know your personal tutor. It's easy to feel intimidated by these ultra serious seeming academics, but they are there to help and support you when you need it. Also, modern universities are putting a greater focus on teaching, and part of this is making sure students are supported by their personal tutors. So if you are struggling or need to talk about something through, then they're always there to help you. But it is up to you to take advantage of this though. So make sure the channels of communication are open. So again, like I did with my course coordinator, just send them a quick email, introduce yourself and say that you're just excited for university and you're excited to meet them, so you get a good impression. So lastly, please don't panic. So when you do think about university, you might be filled with terror, because I definitely was, but the likelihood is that you will look back on those years and feel happy and proud with what you've accomplished, especially when you have your degree on your CV, and it will look amazing. So universities will have face-to-face and online learning in September 2020. And also during the lockdown period from March 2020, I did attend my lectures via online learning. This included learning extra content from my unit and also receiving additional information on my assessments. So my lecturers at the time and towards the end of my second year were very supportive, and they still are. They even emailed myself to ask how I was doing and if how my week was, how I was doing with the workload. So it was really nice to know that they cared about my mental health, especially during that tough time as well. So all I can say is to make the most of every moment you experience as a student as university. So don't worry if you don't feel ready yet, because you will be when the time comes, and it will be okay. I do hope this virtual university experience proved to be helpful, and I wished you luck in the future studies. Also, make sure to use the chat feature we have as well and ask us any questions, and we're open to answering them. Thank you.